So a little bit of context first. I was listening to Billy Collins read some of his poems recently, and I was introduced to a concept I wasn't aware of before, that if you want to write a poem in the style of another poet, you use their title, and in brackets underneath you put after insert poet's name here. So I was intrigued by this idea, and I thought I'd give it a whirl. So here I'd like to read Tension after Billy Collins. In deadness, after I heard you read, cold winds suddenly gust indoors, blowing your hat against solid glass and holding it there frozen. At least you don't have to go chase it. Suddenly your hat drops, normality restored, but no one's talking, holding strange thoughts away from language made audible, best forgotten. Suddenly, gravity stops working and everything from people to cars in the streets begin to float away from the ground. Books drift off bookshelves and tables, and suddenly I find myself teleported to another place and maybe time. I can't be sure amid all this strangeness. And suddenly I remember listening to Billy Collins reading his poems at the Strand in New York City. A lack of something to say, I thought I'd suddenly try my hand at breaking the rules that I suddenly understand. Poem title, after poet's name here. Suddenly, tension doesn't mean a thing when the wrong word is overused and maybe used incorrectly. Suddenly, that's what I'm thinking about. Still floating past Central Park, trying to pay the street vendor selling Banksies during his New York City residency. Suddenly, nothing is making any sense, like it ever did or ever will. Suddenly, that's okay with me. Trying my hand at something new, and suddenly tipping my hat to you. Suddenly returning to the ground, first from grabbing a tree branch, when gravity suddenly remembered it needed to do its job. Lots of crashes and yelling. Suddenly, people are talking openly, all about strange things, even stranger. Most everybody believes them. Without answers, suddenly the question is the thing. I am the poet. I hope you enjoyed this poem, and just in case I haven't mentioned this, because I'm not really blogging, I have been writing one of my poems 1,000 times, Newborn, the first video I uploaded, and I have been selling them to raise the money I need to go to Shakespeare & Company in Paris, because I'd like to walk into Shakespeare & Company and ask to be a tumbleweed and, you know, hang out with other aspiring writers and maybe find somebody that can help me get published. My first collection of poetry is completed. I just need to find a publisher willing to take a chance on somebody who is new. So in any event, that's enough rambling from me, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you for your time. I'm going back inside the legendary Finneys of Doylestown to retrieve my coffee. Yes, I am drinking coffee at 10 something at night. Oh, that's loud. Anywho, this is the poet signing off.